this time, we will present our 2021 Homecoming Court. Mary Leeper is the daughter of Shannon and Mike Leeper. Mary is captain of the varsity soccer team, a member of the basketball and softball teams, student council, National Honor Society, and FFA. Outside of school, Mary enjoys hanging out with her friends and family. After graduation, Mary plans to attend a four-year university with an undecided major while continuing to play soccer. She is riding in a 1967 Camaro driven by Tony Rostelli. Mary is being escorted tonight by Briar Gotzi. Briar is the son of Mindy Gotzi and Ben Gotzi. Briar is a member of the football and wrestling teams. Outside of school, Briar enjoys fishing, hunting, and lifting. After graduation, Briar is currently undecided on his future plans. Mary Leeper and Briar Gotzi. Bridget Bays is the daughter of Erica and Jeremy Bays. Bridget has been a member of the soccer team. She is also involved in the green team, drama club, and is the National Honor Society Secretary and Student Council President. Outside of school, Bridget enjoys hanging with family and friends, reading, and learning about history. After graduation, Bridget plans to attend college to major in the history field. She is riding a 2015 Ford Mustang GT driven by Steve Purvis. Bridget is being escorted tonight by Tanner Moore. Tanner is the son of Haley and Mike Moore. Tanner has been a member of the football and track teams. After graduation, Tanner plans to attend college to pursue a degree in forensic science and to hopefully run track and field for as long as possible. Bridget Bays and Tanner Moore. Next we have Peyton Collins. Peyton is the daughter of Billy and Heather Collins. Peyton has been a member of the basketball and soccer teams, band, FFA, and is a class officer. Outside of school, Peyton enjoys hanging out with her friends and family and attending youth group. After graduation, Peyton plans to attend a four-year university and hopes to pursue teaching. She is riding a 2008 Chevy Corvette driven by Jason Hoover. Peyton is being escorted tonight by Colton Oliver. Colton is the son of Joe and Jen Oliver. Colton is a member of the cross-country team, student council, National Honor Society, and choir. Outside of school, Colton is involved in many church activities and serves in different areas. After graduation, Colton plans to attend a Christian university or Bible college to get a degree in Christian ministry, so he can glorify God and fulfill the Great Commission. Peyton Collins and Colton Oliver. Next we have Frankie Dinsmore. Frankie is the daughter of Steve and Shane Dinsmore. Frankie is a member of the varsity soccer and basketball teams. She is also in the National Honor Society, student council, and is a reporter for FFA. Outside of school, Frankie is a member of the Baby Beat Club and youth group. She enjoys hanging out with friends and family and helping her dad on the farm. After graduation, Frankie plans to attend college and major in the medical field. She is riding a 1959 Corvette driven by Fred Baca. Frankie is being escorted tonight by Connor Morse. Connor is the son of Julie Morse. Connor is a member of the football, wrestling, and track teams. Outside of school, Connor enjoys hanging out with friends. After graduation, Connor plans to join the military. Frankie Dinsmore and Connor Morse. Ann McFarland is the daughter of Trent and Amy McFarland. soccer team and basketball teams for 4 years. She is also a member of student council and FFA. Outside of school, Anna plays soccer on a club team, takes animals to the fair, cares for horses, and enjoys hanging out with friends and spending time with family. After graduation, Anna plans to attend college and major in equine therapy with hopes of continuing to play soccer at the collegiate level. She is riding a 2016 Corvette Stingray driven by John Teal. Anna is being escorted tonight by Hunter George. Hunter is the son of Laura George. Hunter is a member of the basketball and baseball teams. Outside of school, Hunter enjoys spending time with family and friends, playing wiffle ball with his cousins, and fishing. After graduation, Hunter plans to pursue a career as an electrician. Our final couple tonight, Anna McFarland and Hunter George. We can give one more round of applause to the 2021 Homecoming Court. In front of you are some of the most deserving and respected students at Crestview High School. The students voted on this court, and it is now time for the Big King and Queen reveal. Homecoming Court, please turn around and face the away stands. Each homecoming court pair will receive a bouquet of flowers. One bouquet is red. The pair that receives the red flowers are this year's homecoming king and queen. Homecoming court, please turn around in 3, 2, 1. Congratulations to Frankie Densmore and Connor Morris, your 2021 Homecoming King and Queen. At this time, we'd like to thank Mrs. Hun for her dedication in putting on homecoming. Mrs. Hun is our high school history teacher and serves many roles in our district. And without her hard work, the activities both tonight and tomorrow for homecoming would not be possible. So we thank Mrs. Hun and student council members and all the helpers that we have today and tomorrow for what they do in making this weekend special.
Cougars are 4-0 thanks in large part to the running of running back Connor Morse. Monroeville is 2-2 and coming off of a big win over Plymouth last weekend. These two teams square off tonight, and the winner will have a leg up in the Firelands Conference. It's the Eagles and the Cougars coming up next.
Kissel's Lawncare. There's no job too big or too small for us to handle. With top-of-the-line equipment, we are guaranteed to complete your next landscaping job efficiently and professionally. A hard-working, dedicated team is what we take pride in, bringing to every job to make sure the results are the best they can be. So the next time you have a landscaping project that needs done, think smart and think Kissel.
Instead of paying for some big-name spokesperson, Kasasa Checking gives that money back to you in cash rewards. In fact, you just bought me this cup of coffee. See how that works? Amazing! Free checking, cash rewards. Take back banking with Kasasa.
Hi, I'm Josh with Scout Construction, proud sponsor of local teams and athletes. Check out your favorite local sports right here on the OH Report.
Take it to the limit. One step ahead. Take it to the base.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to week number 5 of the 2021 high school football season from Community Stadium in Ashland. It's the Monroeville Eagles in town to take on the Cougars of Crestview. I am Brian Harder along with Bruce Wyrick, and they're still doing some work over at Crestview High School on the field, but it's going to be done before the end of this season. But for now, Ashland High School has loaned the field to the Crestview Cougars and have allowed them to call this home for the last few weeks. And right now, they're going to be hosting Monroeville in a matchup that, let's put it this way, if you're a fan of throwing the football all over the field, this is not the game you want to watch.
I think you're right there, Brian. We're going to see a lot of running the football tonight. And I want to see who's going to win the trenches. You know, that the big key tonight is who's going to be able to control the offensive line of scrimmage and who's going to be able to control the defensive line of scrimmage. Now, Crestview comes in 4-0. They got to be flying high. It's homecoming night for them. They got a good crowd, beautiful night. Monroeville's got their hands full, I think, tonight.
Now, I don't know if this is good karma or not, but the best running back, arguably in North Central Ohio, Connor Morse, was also named Homecoming King tonight. So does that give him a little extra incentive or not? We will soon find out.
I don't really know about that. I used to, when I was the head coach in Ontario, I always tried to find a homecoming game.
We're going to pause now for the playing and singing of our national anthem. Back to the Sutton Bank pregame show. I am Brian Harder along with Bruce Wyrick. It's Crestview taking on Monroeville in a Firelands Conference matchup. Last week, Crestview defeated Western Reserve 21-13. Connor Morse rushed for 280 yards and 3 touchdowns on 41 carries. 199 of those yards came in the second half. Meanwhile, Monroeville defeated Plymouth 42-39 last Friday night. Senior quarterback Isaac Roeder ran for 262 yards and 2 touchdowns and threw for another. And running back Braden Schuler ran for 103 yards and 3 more scores as Monroeville dealt Plymouth their first loss of the season. Roeder completed 7 of 11 passes for 155 yards, so he accounted for 417 yards of total offense, Bruce, but a lot of that he likes to run the football.
And as I get back to it, I love these type of games. You can control the clock, and this is where those 5 gentlemen up front can get a lot of recognition. When your quarterback throws the ball all over the place, you don't think much about your offensive line. But tonight, I think a lot of emphasis is going to be put on that offensive line, making things happen up front. And to get back to the homecoming, as a head football coach, I used to hate our homecoming games because of, as you stated, distractions. Crestview's tailback, Connor, he never got a warm-up. He was on the sideline. He was nominated king, homecoming king. And is that a distraction? I used to go 4 or 5 games without a fumble or no penalties. Homecoming game comes up. Everybody's mind somewhere else, nothing but mistake after mistake.
You're watching highlights of Connor Morse against East Knox a couple of weeks ago, and this was a game that Morse has really done this all season long. He has really been unstoppable. 88 carries, 669 yards, 12 touchdowns. He's averaging 7.6 yards a carry. And I talked to head coach Steve Haverdill earlier today, and he told me that he's a workaholic. And this is a kid, when you think about running backs at Crestview, I mean, last year he had to sit behind Chase Shiflett, so he had to wait his turn, and he came into this season very hungry.
And believe me, when you can put those type of numbers up, somebody up front's doing something for you, and he'll probably be the first person to tell you what a great job his offensive line's doing for him. But you're right, Brian. This is going to be a slam, bang, let's beat each other up in the trenches and see who comes out on top.
And also someone else who had to wait their turn is junior quarterback Hayden Kuhn, who is the brother of Ross Kuhn. You saw all of the numbers and the records that he broke last year. And Haverdill told me that, that quarterback room last year, both of those guys were in there, and Hayden was soaking up all of that knowledge and all of that experience. And he said he started the season with a little bit of pressure, feeling like he was being compared to his brother, but the coaches set him aside and said, look, we just need you to be you. And having a running back like Connor Morse takes a lot of pressure off of a first-year starting quarterback.
I've talked to a few fans of Crestview and people that know football, and they have told me that this football team of Crestview's is better than last year's because they have overall better personnel in the right positions. Last year you had a couple big studs that made everything happen for them, and they might have had a weakness here and there. But tonight, everybody's looking at this Crestview team as a well-rounded, balanced machine.
Well, it's funny that you use the word balance because you look at what Connor Morse has done, and that is what their offense is. They can run and run and run, and then they'll throw in the play-action pass, and that has taken a lot of pressure off of Hayden Kuhn. And I asked Haverdale, I said, do you want to become more balanced as the season goes along? And he says, no. He goes, we're going to run it down people's throats.
You know, we're sitting here talking about Crestview, and everybody's looking at the records and the scores. But this Monroeville team, they've averaged 40 points a game the last 2 games. And sometimes it takes a few games to get your team mature enough to come alive. And I'll tell you what, if you can put 40 points up on the board in 2 consecutive games, you're doing something right out there.
And you talk about guys that like to run, they get that from their quarterback spot. Isaac Roeder is their leading rusher. He's also their leading passer. He loves to throw and then run with the football. And when we take a look at the keys to tonight's game, it's really going to be no secret. Both of these teams want to establish their offense on the ground.
And the team that can control the flow of the game, keep the momentum on their side, and move it down the field is going to be the winner of this game. And the other thing we're going to look at is the little things that go on. You know, the kicking game is such an important part. Is there going to be a bad punt? Is there going to be a fumble? The little things. Who's going to take care of the little things tonight, Brian?
Coach Haverdale told me that they like to just play ball control. That's why they like to run the ball so much, and that will keep the ball away from a guy like Isaac Roeder.
And that's what you want to do. You want to take the hands out of the offensive weapon of the opposing team. You know, and if you can stay on the field for 12 consecutive plays, that knocks down the plays that the other team can play. And the less plays you have, the less opportunities you have to score.
Steve Haverdale is in his 3rd season as the head coach of the Cougars, and he took Crestview to the playoffs in his first season, a game they lost 21-20 to East Knox. And prior to being the Cougars head coach, he was Crestview's defensive coordinator for 3 seasons. And he's also Crestview's wrestling coach. He's been that coach since 2014. That is something he has in common with Tyler Nestor, who is in his first season as the head coach of Monroeville. He is also the wrestling coach at Monroeville. So a little commonality between the 2 head coaches.
One of the good things is at a small school, you got to do a little of everything, and that's how you get the kids to believe in you as a coach. And I'll bet you any amount of money when this football season's over, if you don't play basketball, you're either in the weight room or on the wrestling mat for one of these 2 teams.
Tyler Nestor was the defensive coordinator for Monroeville for several years, so he knows these kids. And really, when you look at their offense, it really isn't a whole lot different than what they did before under head coach Steve Stecker, or Scott Stecker, excuse me. He was Stecker's defensive coordinator for all 7 of the seasons that Stecker was the head coach. So these kids have that familiarity with a first-year guy, and that's something that is invaluable when you talk about chemistry.
And you need that. And tonight, who's not going to make the mistakes, who can control the flow of the game, and who's going to beat the other team in the trenches, offensive line versus defensive line.
Crestview won the opening coin toss. They deferred to the second half, so they're going to kick off, and Monroeville will receive. And we are just about to get underway here from Community Stadium in Ashland. Holloway's kickoff from about the 17-yard line up across the 25 to the 26. So that is where Monroeville will take over 1st and 10. The offensive starters for the Eagles, and they are led by their quarterback, Isaac Roeder. He's joined also by running back Braden Schuler. The halfback is Cody Stewart. The receivers, Burrows and Benford. The tight end, Stegeman, who's also the backup quarterback. Up front, it's Klinker, Klingman, Stewart, Ackerman, and Peyton Barnhart. 1st and 10 from the Eagle 26-yard line. operate out of the shotgun. And he's going to look to throw, and he's forced to run, gets up across the 25, a gain of a couple. The defensive starters for Crestview, and this is a solid unit. A lot of the offense gets the attention, but this defensive unit for Crestview is pretty good. That's the offensive unit. We'll take a look at the defense after this next play. Gain of 1, 2nd down and 9. Roeder's joined in the backfield by Braden Schuler. Schuler had 100 yards rushing last week. He'll get the call around the left side, has the first down across the 35 to about the 39-yard line. Now let's take a look at the defensive starters after this replay. As you see him shoved out of bounds just shy of the 40-yard line, the defensive ends, Owen Barker and Gavin Gaines, the nose guard, Mitch Klein. The linebackers, Briar Godsey along with Aiden Godsey. And Wade Bolin is the outside linebacker. The backfield, Cunningham, Raymer, Moore, Smedley, and Tanner Moore. 1st and 10 at the Monroeville 39-yard line. Their first down of the ball game. A design run by Roeder, and he runs right into the arms of Owen Barker.
And as you said, Brian, we're going to see him run the football, and that's what we're getting down here right now. And it's going to be a great ball game. Crestview's defense, can they play up to the game?
Roeder is their leading ball carrier on the season, 77 carries, 578 yards. He scored 8 touchdowns running the football. No gain on that play, 2nd down and 10. Feels some pressure going to the right side, fires down the right sideline, has a receiver, but he overthrows Evan Benford down that right sideline.
And I like seeing that. The quarterback rolls out, going to the wide side of the field. They have a one-man on a streak route. Loftus, see what happens. Now Crestview's got to be worried about the pass. And I'll tell you what, the young man's got an arm on him, Brian. He put that ball up in the air.
Coach Averdale was telling me he's very concerned about this arm. All the attention goes to him and his ability to run the football, but he said he has an outstanding arm.
And we're at a 3rd and 10. We're going to see what they do here.
Split backs in the backfield. Roeder sets, fires. It's short, and it's caught by Benford, but well short of the first down. So the first punt of the ball game as Monroeville only gets 3 yards. Well short, as you see on the replay. So Crestview will get the ball with pretty good field position. From the 25, that's Addison Raymer. And he gets up across 35 to about the 37. The offensive starters for Monroeville, led by their quarterback, Isaac Roeder. Or Crestview, excuse me. Hayden Kuhn, the junior, is the starting quarterback. Wade Bolin and Connor Morse, the outstanding senior, is their leading ball carrier. Gabe Smedley, an outstanding receiving target. Up front, it's Cunningham, Stewart, Barker, Ringler, Aiden Godsey, and the tight end, Sean Bailey. First and 10 from the 39. It's Morse with his first carry of the ball game, and he gets 10 yards up to the 49-yard line.
And I tell you, I think we're going to see that a lot tonight, Brian. If he can get 10 yards on every he got 9 there. Offensive line's doing the job. I think we're going to see a steady dose of that play tonight.
Up front, the starters for Monroeville, Stewart, Nichols, along with Klinker. Ackerman, and then the linebackers, Stewart, Schuler, and Roeder, Benford, Burrows, Schaefer, and Isaac Roeder in the defensive backfield. Kuhn with all kinds of time. He's looking long, right side, has a receiver, and it's incomplete. In and out of the hands of Raymer.
You have 2nd down and short. What do you have to lose? put the ball up, you roll out, you have a one-man going deep, loft the ball up. What that does, that gives that secondary, hey, I can't play the run all night. I got to think pass. These guys can throw the ball.
Josh Burrows back on coverage for the Eagles. It is now 3rd down and 1. There's a flag down, and this could go against the offense.
A little bit of motion. Offensive lineman got a little bit antsy. He wiggled up just a hair. But as soon as they wiggle, you see the defensive line all point to them. They want to make sure that official sees it.
So that makes it 3rd down and 6. 8:58 to go in the opening quarter. No score. Crestview with their first possession of the ball game. Looking for win number 5 here in 2021. Morse with a first down across midfield down to the 48-yard line. Making the tackle for Monroeville, Evan Benfer.
The young man's carried the ball twice. He's got about 19 yards. One's to the right, one's to the left. If this keeps up, you can see Crestview giving up on the pass and just run the ball. Monroeville's got to figure a way to stop that young man from running.
He had 41 carries in their win over Western Reserve last week, 280 yards, 199 of those after halftime. Kuhn with some time to his right. Dumps it off. This one caught by Sean Bailey. And Bailey with first down yardage inside the 35, down to the 33. Landon Roeder up to make the tackle. They will throw the ball a little bit more than Monroeville will, and Kuhn obviously very comfortable with this offense.
And one thing you notice, they're rolling the quarterback out. You know, they run that little play action fake, keeps the linebackers in, and then roll out wide side of the field.
Tanner Moore goes wide to the top of your picture. That's Raymer in motion. Morse lunges forward to the 26, so even when he stumbles, he picks up 5 yards. Kind of lost his footing there, but actually he got 6 yards up to the 26. It'll be 2nd and 4.
And Monroeville's going to have to start getting a little more aggressive up front. They got us. These runners are not getting touched until they get to the second level.
That was Kuhn with the carry, not Morse. Making it 2nd down and 4. This is Morse. Cuts back inside the 20 down to the 18. He's got a first down. So the Cougars marching right down the field.
And this is Crestview football right in front of us.
Inside the 20, just shy of the 19-yard line. 1st and 10, 6:55 to go in the opening quarter. Gabe Smedley goes wide to the left out of your picture. Wade Bolin with the carry. And Bolin pulls forward just shy of the 15. Josh Burrows in on the tackle. Bolin a little bit bigger, gives them a little bit more of a physical back.
You're in the red zone now. Let's see if that Monroe defense can tighten things up a little bit. The field's a little bit shorter. See what happens here.
Bolin now as a fullback. That's Morse. Spins, and they string it out at the 15-yard line. Braden Schuler in on the tackle, along with number 51, Duncan Stewart from his linebacker spot.
3rd and 5. This is where we're going to find out what this defensive front can do. Can they contain the run? Can the linebacker step up, slow them down?
They have rolled Kuhn out on a few plays in this drive. Do they roll him out or do they give it to Morse? There's your answer. Morse is stood up at the 11-yard line, shy of the first down. Isaac Roeder came up to make the stop. It's now 4th and 2.
Big play, big play. Here we are, first quarter, and we got a big play. 4th down play. This could be a big momentum boost for Monroeville.
4th and 2 from the 11. The offense stays on the field for the Cougars. Morse all alone in the backfield. They go right to him. And he's got a first down inside the 10. That is confidence in your stud running back. Ran behind the right side of that line and gets just enough for the first down. It's 1st and goal, Crestview.
You take when you're in a situation like that, the first thing a coach does not want to do, you don't want to put the ball in somebody's hands that's not ready for it. Give it to your best back at the best hole.
1st and goal at the 8. Crestview getting a big conversion on 4th down. Backs in the eye. They pitch it to Morse. And Morse slips and still able to get back to the line of scrimmage. Actually, they're going to say he lost a yard, so it'll be 2nd and goal from the 9.
That looked like the old Cleveland Browns. Sweep right. Everybody was out in front of him. Slipped on the turf.
Kuhn's going to roll to his right. Looks into the end zone. Touchdown, Crestview. Gabe Smedley, the big senior, hauls in the touchdown pass from 9 yards out. And Crestview goes on top 6-0. Second touchdown reception of the season for Smedley. And for Kuhn, it's touchdown pass number 7.
Nice play call. Nice play call. You've been running the ball down in the red zone. You got Monroeville thinking run, run, run. Then you do a little rollout. And the quarterback had a choice. He could run it. He could have ran it there, or he had the option to throw, and he threw it for the touchdown.
Extra point up and no good. So Crestview has to settle for a 6-0 lead. 3:38 to go in the opening quarter. There we see the touchdown pass to Smedley, wide open in the end zone. Able to get separation on Josh Burrows in the end zone.
That was a great play call down there in the red zone. Crestview's, they are such a well-balanced team. You can't really key on anything, Brian. You know, they got a great running back. They got a quarterback that can roll out and throw it. They're throwing the ball. Everything's clicking for them right now.
3 minutes, 38 seconds to go in the first quarter. Crestview draws first blood. These two teams did not play a year ago. But Crestview, Monroeville, and Norwalk St. Paul shared the Firelands Conference championship. But the Crestview-Monroeville game was one of the games that did not get played a year ago.
And what I liked about that was a 10-play drive. They used about 8 minutes on the clock. Crestview's controlling the tempo of the game with their offense.
Well, and that's what Steve Haverdale says they want to do. You see a short kickoff, it goes out of bounds. That's what Steve Haverdale and his coaching staff want to do. They want to control the clock and do that with those long, sustained drives.
And the first thing that long, sustained drive does, it wears out your defense. And Monroeville, they do not have a lot of athletes on the sidelines right now, so some of these kids are going both ways. That's going to have effect on them in the second half because it's really a warm night.
So it'll be 1st and 10 at the Monroeville 41-yard line. The Eagles now on the short end of a 6-0 score. Monroeville started the season with 2 losses. They lost to Lakota and then Tiffin Calvert. And then they got wins over Margaretta and then last week against Plymouth and a loss to the 35-yard line. And the Crestview defense comes up big on first down.
I think we had a busted play. It looked like the snap was a little bit high, a little miscommunication in the backfield. You can't do that to a team like Crestview that has a well-disciplined defense.
Wade Bolin there to gobble up the ball carrier. A loss of 6 on the play as we approach 3 minutes to go in the first quarter. That's Schuler. And Schuler fumbles the ball out of bounds. He was wrapped up by Connor Morse. So back close to the original line of scrimmage. It'll be 3rd and 10.
Braden Schuler, the ball carrier for the Eagles.
Monroeville is still doing what they're basically built to do. Run the ball, a little bit of play action pass. They've been running to the outside of the Crestview defense, staying away from the middle.
Roeder rolls to his left, and it's going to be picked off at the 45-yard line by Addison Raymer.
That Eagle pass is picked off by number 21.
First interception of the season for Raymer, and it's at the 45-yard line. Crestview gets the ball back on the turnover. Pass was intended for Evan Benfer, and he just underthrew it. So now Crestview with a golden opportunity here with a short field, 1st and 10. There's movement on the line, and they're going to be moved back closer to midfield.
Offensive linemen get a little bit jumpy down there on that field. And if we have to look at field position tonight, Crestview's had 2 starts in excellent field position.
Take a look again at the turnover. Just a short throw by Roeder. Ball now resting at the 50-yard line. That's Morse running into the arms of Josh Burrows, who wraps him up at the 45. So back to the original line of scrimmage. Actually about a yard shy of the original line of scrimmage. It'll bring up 2nd down and 11. We had an opportunity to do a game last year up in Monroeville, and you talk about a fun environment for football. Kuhn swings it out. That's Morse. Morse cuts back at the 40 up to about the 36. He's going to be close to a 1st down. In on the play defensively, Evan Benfer, who has been busy tonight.
Now we got to take a look at that. Was that a pass or was that a lateral? I think it was a pass. It was in front of the receiver.
It's 3rd down and 1. Bolin has the 1st down inside the 35. So Bolin getting the ball in short yardage situations. Coming into tonight, 28 carries, 122 yards, averages about 4 yards a carry. He's the bigger back. And gets the 1st down and a fresh set of downs for Crestview as we approach the 1-minute mark of the first quarter. Kuhn fakes it to Morse. And a wide open receiver on the right side. That's Raymer. And he's down inside the 10. Another 1st and goal for Crestview. And they're making this look easy right now.
They're clicking on everything. Everything is working for them.
Kuhn steps up and delivers a nice ball to a wide open Raymer. Raymer shoved out of bounds by Josh Burrows. Morse into the end zone for a touchdown. An 8-yard touchdown run by Connor Morse. The 13th touchdown of the season on the ground for the Crestview running back. Nice hole on the right side of the line.
And we've ran the whole first quarter. We're down to 52 seconds. Crestview has totally dominated time of possession. Monroeville's run 7 plays in the first quarter. That's all. And I think this is what Crestview wants to do.
Holloway with the extra point. This one is good. So Crestview extends their lead to 13-0. Take a look at the touchdown run by Connor Morse.
And we talked about this before the game. Who's going to win the battle of the trenches? Nobody put a hand on him until he hit the goal line, Brian. The offensive line for Crestview is slowly starting to dominate the defensive front of Monroeville.
Well, the computer rankings are out. Crestview ranked 2nd in the first rankings that were released this week. They're one place behind Archbald in Division 6, Region 22. Monroeville is 14th in Division 7, Region 25. Now remember, the top 16 teams make the playoffs, and teams have to play 5 games to qualify for the postseason. Of course, last year, all of the teams got into the postseason. Do you like the expanded 16-team format?
Well, I like it. Right, it looks good on paper. But when the reality comes down to it, you're going to have a number 1 team, a number 1 seed, playing a number 16 seed. And I just think it throws a little distortion out there. And, it's fun for the fans and everything, but is it good for your football program? You're going to have teams mismatched.
From the 20-yard line. And Monroeville will start this drive just over the 30-yard line. Schuler with the kickoff return.
Monroeville's got to establish their offense. They got to start moving the sticks on the sidelines, get a few first downs here and there. They haven't crossed the 50-yard line yet.
Ball just shy of the 34-yard line. Monroeville with a 1st and 10 with 47 seconds to go in the opening quarter, down 13-0. Monroeville coming off a big win last week against Plymouth. Roeder across the 40, out of bounds at about the 42-yard line.
So we know Monroeville has the ability. When you play a Plymouth team that was undefeated and you go in there and you beat them handedly, you've got some weapons out there, and they just got to get their gears going in the right direction. They got to get a drive established. They got to move the sticks down the field. Give that defense a break.
Isaac Roeder, a very physical runner. He'll put his shoulders down.
He just took a good hit there.
Big, strong kid. 2nd down and 3. Schuler stuffed behind the line of scrimmage. Broke away from the initial contact, then force to the ground. Owen Barker in on the stop. Steve Haverdale was telling me that the attention goes to the offense. He goes, but this defense of Crestview's has played lights out all season long. He said their communication is better. They're playing faster.
Speed, the speed of the game. That's unbelievable on defense. How you can overcome so many mistakes with a little bit of speed.
Forcing a 3rd down and 6, and that is going to do it for the first quarter. Crestview with a 13-0 lead as we head to the second. You're watching high school football live and free exclusively on the OH Report.
Instead of paying for some big-name spokesperson, Casasa Checking gives that money back to you in cash rewards. In fact, you just bought me this cup of coffee. See how that works? Amazing! Free checking, cash rewards. Take back banking with Casasa.
Hi, I'm Josh with Scout Construction, proud sponsor of local teams and athletes. Check out your favorite local sports right here on the OH Report.
Getting ready to start the second quarter. Crestview with a 13-0 lead over Monroeville. Monroeville with a 3rd down and 5 from their 39-yard line. They'll stay on the ground. That's Landon Roeder with the carry. Pop just short of the first down marker, which is directly in our line of sight here in the press box. They're going to spot it at the 42. And he will be about 2 yards shy, so they're going to have to punt. Ian Schaefer back in punt formation for Monroeville.
I actually got kind of excited there. They got through the first line of scrimmage. They had a little momentum on them, but the Crestview linebackers shut it down.
Raymer standing inside the 30 to receive this kick. Going to bounce and take a Monroeville roll out of bounds. So Crestview looking to go 3 for 3 here in the first half. Their first 2 drives resulted in touchdowns, a 9-yard touchdown pass from Kuhn to Smedley, and then an 8-yard touchdown run by Connor Morse. It has been all Crestview here so far in the first half.
And the ball control is the big thing of Crestview right now. They can eat the clock up. Monroeville, they need at least 2 scores. They need time on the field.
And you give a team like this a 2 touchdown lead. Kuhn back to throw on first down, has a receiver open. He overthrows Gabe Smedley, and they were going for the jugular right there, going long on first down.
And I like the call. I really like the call. You're up 13-0. You're controlling the clock. You feel the momentum. Let that quarterback wing it out, and boy, did he throw it.
Just a step or 2 off. One of the few miscues. Won't even really call it a mistake here in the first half for Crestview.
That puts fear in the secondary, and that defensive coordinator coach on the sideline going, oh boy, here we go.
Kuhn up under center. He'll give it to Morse. He cuts back across 35 up to about the 38, a gain of about 7.
That's his 10th carry for 56 yards, averaging 5 yards a carry. That's not bad when you get 5 yards every time you touch it.
And look at the yards after contact. After the initial contact, the first guy rarely wraps him up.
Well, one of the problems Monroeville has is that they're getting to the secondary. They're getting through the line, defensive line, into the secondary.
There's movement on the line. Hayden Kuhn is trying to say that it's going to be against the defense, but I think this is going to go against Crestview. Going to be a procedure call against the offense.
If Crestview's doing anything wrong right now, Brian, it is their penalties. They've got 3 penalties for 15 yards, but they've overcome them. They've been able to overcome them.
Take a look at the bottom of your screen there, the Facebook fan zone. Fans checking in on tonight's game. Kuhn rolls to his left, has another receiver, and it's going to be caught, but is it in bounds?
Yep.
They're going to say it's a reception in bounds by Raymer. Kuhn's looking pretty sharp here early, Coach.
He's got 3 catches for 70 yards, and I'll tell you what, the young man catches anything thrown to him. Good throw by the quarterback.
Crestview now in Monroeville territory at the Eagle 46-yard line. looking to add to a 13-0 lead. Morse, left side, breaks a tackle, gets up to the 40. Isaac Klingman in on the stop, along with Ian Schaefer. Almost every first down play that Crestview has run tonight, they've ripped off 5 or 6 yards.
And boy, is that nice when you have 2nd and 5 instead of 2nd and long. And I think that's one of the reasons Crestview's throwing the ball a little bit more tonight. They have the opportunities to do it. They know they can make the yardage running it. So let's work on our passing game.
Now the shotgun. They'll run a jet sweep to the right side. That's Tanner Moore inside the 40. And he pushes forward, and he's going to be still short of the first down, but he did not go down easily. Evan Benford in on the stop, about a half-yard shy to be 3rd and short.
They're getting everybody involved. Now they're giving it to number 20, the wingback coming back. As a defensive coordinator, you start to go crazy because they're sprinting out, throwing the ball. Anytime they need 5 yards, they give it to their tailback. Holy smokes, here we go.
Gabe Smedley goes wide left. He's got a touchdown reception tonight. They'll stay on the ground. A first down as Kuhn keeps it. Not only gets a yard, he gets about 3. That's running behind a freshman center.
When you're at a little bit smaller school, you utilize everybody. And if you're a freshman, you make the workouts, you go to practice, and you do the work in the summertime, you might start.
1st and 10 at the Monroeville 33. Kuhn again looks to throw on first down, lofts it up right side. This one could get picked off, and it is. It is intercepted at the 10-yard line. He threw it to Josh Burrows, just kind of lofted it up there. And that's the first interception on the season for Kuhn.
I think the ball hung up in the air a little bit too much. He got too much air underneath it, and it allowed the defensive secondary to adjust to it. A little short because the receiver was open.
Burrows with his 2nd interception of the season. So a break for Monroeville. And Roeder cannot get away from this defense for Crestview. Watch Owen Barker as he just blows through the block and gets Roeder at the 4-yard line.
Monroeville's got their back against the wall. The last thing you want to do is turn the ball over to Crestview in this situation. You got to move the ball, move the markers.
Schuler. And he cannot get around the edge. Aiden Godsey over there to help out defensively.
I think you can see the speed on the Crestview defense. Watch how they react. The ball's going out. Here they come. Everybody's flying. Linebackers are flying. 1, 2, 3, 4. They're attacking the ball.
3rd down and 13 from the 7.
Monroeville's had 1 first down so far.
And a design run by Roeder breaks through the initial contact but struggles to get back to the 9. It'll be 4th down. Monroeville unable to capitalize on the turnover. And they're going to have to punt.
And right now, as a coach on the sideline, he can really start to depend upon his defense. His defense is doing a great job out there right now, which gives him a little bit more leadway with his offense. Throw the ball a little bit more. Let's work on our passing game.
Ian Schaefer standing in the end zone. It's a short kick and doesn't get past the 30-yard line, and it's going to be Crestview ball. 1st and 10 at about the 28-yard line. Tonight's high school football broadcast brought to you live and free on the OH Report thanks to our generous sponsors, Kissel's Lawncare, Spraying and Painting. Look them up on Facebook to schedule services. By Frito Lay, bet you can't eat just one. Scout Construction LLC, now hiring skilled carpenters. Contact Josh Mobley to apply. Sutton Bank, try free checking that pays with Kasasa Cash Checking at suttonbank.com. And J&F Construction, building your future here. Brian Harder, Bruce Wyrick from Community Stadium in Ashland, where the Crestview Cougars with a 13-0 lead over Monroeville. 6:20 to go in the second quarter. And the Crestview offense has been, outside of the interception thrown by Kuhn on that last drive, they have really dominated this ball game.
They're like a machine, Brian, and they're in mid-season form right now. They're working on a few things. They're throwing the ball a little bit more than I thought they would be doing. But with that offensive line in front and what they're doing, controlling the line of scrimmage, they're just eating it up the clock and running the ball.
1st and 10, Cougars at the Monroeville 29-yard line. Give it to Morse, and he has stood up. Duncan Stewart up from his linebacker spot. And that's got to be a moral victory. They held him to just shy of 3 yards.
And when you're in when you got your backs against the goal post right now, you've got to step up. Somebody on that defense has got to step up, and you got to look at take something away. You either take away the run of Crestview or the passing game. And right now, I'd really work on shutting down this run game. Force them to the air.
Backs are in the eye. Kuhn up under center. That's Bolin. Bolin breaks a couple tackles inside the 20 down to the 17-yard line. Some shifty running by Wade Bolin. Duncan Stewart on the tackle, but it's a first down for Crestview.
And he just kind of picked his way through there, didn't he, Brian? It's a trap play. They seal the linebackers. A great trap by the offensive line. He just works, breaks a couple tackles. First down.
1st and 10 at the Eagles' 17-yard line. Now they go back to Morse. Misdirection inside the 15 down to the 13. Landon Roeder in on the tackle. Gain of about 5.
He's back to his average.
I think the dream coaching job in North Central Ohio is the offensive coordinator for Crestview.
Yeah, you call it. It's going to succeed. Well-oiled machine.
Morse. That time he stood up at the line of scrimmage. Doesn't get much after the first contact.
And that's what Monroeville has to do. They got to shut down one part of the Crestview's game. Shut down the run, force them into the air.
3rd down and 3.
They're in 4-down territory, so they basically have 2 plays to get a first down.
As we approach the 4-minute mark of the first half, Kuhn back to throw. That's Smedley with the reception, but he doesn't get anything after the catch. And let's see, he may have gotten forward progress for the first down, and I think he does.
That's Crestview's 10th first down.
Smedley got just enough on the route. There he catches it at the 6. And they will spot it at the 7. It's 1st and goal Cougars. Raymer wide to the right out of your picture. But they're going to give it to Morris and have him race to the corner, and he can't get away from Isaac Roeder, who throws him out of bounds. Isaac Roeder, a physical presence on defense for Monroeville.
Loss of 4 yards on the play. That helps a lot. And like Monroeville is slowly trying to take the run game away. Force Crestview to throw the ball.
Second and goal from the 12. Kuhn with time, pumps, swings it out. Another touchdown for the Cougars. This one hauled in by Sean Bailey from 12 yards out. And the second touchdown pass on the night for Hayden Kuhn. Bailey with his second touchdown reception of the season as he just strolls into the end zone.
Great crossing route, bringing him all the way from the other side of the field. Let the wide receivers clear everybody out, run underneath it, throw the ball. The extra point is good.
So it's now 20-0 in favor of Crestview. Remember, Crestview, won the opening coin toss and they deferred, so they will start with the football in the third quarter. Wide open on the crossing route. And you talked earlier about them spreading the wealth around. 3 different Cougars have found the end zone tonight.
And right now, Monroeville, the last thing they want to do is turn the ball over to Crestview. They got almost 3 minutes on the clock. They got to keep the ball for 3 minutes. You don't want to give it to Crestview so Crestview can have another opportunity to score.
Monroeville, you would think with 2:54 to go, they have 2 timeouts. Do they try to get on the scoreboard here?
I think Monroeville, all they want to do is go in a half down 20-zip. You got to go in and regroup a little bit. You don't want to do anything to turn the ball over and give it to Crestview again. Maintain the ball. Try to get a few first downs. Go in with a little positive movement on the football field right now. They've only run 13 plays the entire half.
Burrows and Isaac Roeder back to receive the kick from Devin Holloway. Roeder from the 11. And he gets up to about the 23-yard line, and that's where the Eagles will start 1st and 10 with 2:48 to go. Again, they have 2 timeouts.
Now, Monroeville, I think they just want to run the clock down. But if you watch Crestview, if their defense does a great job on first down, watch for Crestview to start calling timeouts. They want to get the ball back, and they want to score before half again. So Monroeville wants to control the ball, move the clock. Crestview has 3 timeouts. If their defense shuts them down right now, look for a timeout.
2 receivers on the left side. Schuler gets the call, and he's tackled by Morris at the 30, so a gain of 6 will make it 2nd down and 4.
Nice run play by Monroeville. All they got to do now is move the sticks, keep the clock moving. Develop a little offensive momentum going in at halftime. Something to build on in that locker room.
Roeder trying to turn the corner, and this Cougar defense is just so fast to the ball. Roeder with nowhere to go, unable to turn the corner.
And like you said, Brian, the linebackers, the secondary, as soon as they see him going to the sidelines, they all fly there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Crestview football players in the view.
Clock stops with 2:05 to go. 3rd down and about 6. Roeder makes the completion, but Smedley there to make sure that Evan Benfer had nowhere to go after the catch, and it's going to be 4th down.
And here's your timeout. Crestview's going to utilize the clock a little bit.
A very complete performance by Crestview here in the first half. Timeout taken by the Cougars, 1:55 to go. And I think you called it, Coach. They're going to try to make something happen here before the end of the half.
And, you know, I was hoping Monroeville could get a first down, keep the clock moving. But Crestview, they're a well-oiled machine. They're clicking all cylinders right now. They got 2 timeouts left, a minute 58 on the clock, and they got a short field right now.
These two teams did not play in 2020. The last time they met on the field was in 2019, a 41-14 win for Crestview. And they are cruising tonight here in week 5, looking for win number 5 with a 20-0 lead, 1:58 to go before halftime. Stay with us for the Sutton Bank halftime show. We'll have the Crestview marching band, and they look at the first half stats, which I'm guessing are going to be a little bit lopsided. Ian Schaefer back in punt formation for Monroeville. High snap, it goes over his head. And this is trouble. This is trouble. You talked about the little things, special teams making a contribution here for Crestview. Now, let's see, they're going to stop his progress just shy of the 1 yard line, so they're not going to give Crestview. I'm not sure about that.
It looked like he was inside, but. And the bad thing is that goes as a rush for that punter. A loss of 32 yards.
There's movement on the line. And you're going to go half the distance, so it's going to march Monroeville back. Or is this going to go against Crestview?
I think it's a movement again on the offensive line.
Yeah, this is going against Monroeville, so half the distance to the goal. You can't get any farther away from the end zone than that. 99.5 yards stands between Monroeville and the end zone. So Kuhn now up under center. And did he get in? There's no signal yet. It's going to be 2nd and goal.
Goal line stand.
Now Wade Bolin normally gets the...
Monroeville did a nice job plugging up the middle.
Bolin normally gets the call in these short yardage situations. Let's see what they elect to do here.
Whoa!
And there's movement on the line, and this is going to back Crestview up.
That's their 4th penalty for 20 yards, and all 4 penalties have been on the offensive line jumping.
Well, you got to have something to talk about at halftime.
Coach has got to have something to yell at. You're right about that, Brian. Whoa, he's got a little bit antsy there.
So it'll be 2nd and goal from the just outside the 5 yard line. And Crestview threatening to put 6 more on the board and then get the ball back to start the 3rd quarter. Morse, touchdown. 6-yard touchdown run for Connor Morse, his 2nd of the night. And the route is on.
Nice blocking. You let your lead back kick out the end man on the line of scrimmage. You turn your tackle up inside the hole. It's almost a walk-in. I might even be able to run that ball in, Brian.
Devin Holloway on to attempt the extra point. It is up, and it is good. So with 59 seconds to go before halftime, it's now 27-0 in favor of Crestview.
59 seconds remains in the first half.
Morse getting touchdown number 2 on the night. Two touchdowns on the ground for Crestview, 2 touchdowns through the air. That is balance.
free to fans on Facebook and YouTube. Ryan Carter and Bruce Wyrick are calling the action. Catch the full broadcast of tonight's contest by searching the OH Report on both platforms. Highlights from tonight's ballgame will also be featured on the Friday night Pigskin High School.
59 seconds to go before the halftime of this one, and it will be interesting to see how Monroeville responds in the third quarter. They lost their first 2 games of the season, then have won their last 2, including a big win last week against Plymouth. Short kick, and Roeder watches it go out of bounds at about the 13-yard line.
Monroeville, as you said, they got their hands full right now. And as a former coach, being in this same situation, it's a tough halftime for you. But you got to build on something. And what you got to start is with your offense, moving the ball, moving the sticks. They've only had 1 first down this game. You got to be positive with your young team.
So 1st and 10 from the 35-yard line. 2 timeouts in the hip pocket of Tyler Nestor, the first-year head coach of Monroeville. Roeder looks to throw. It's a short one. It's caught. Ian Schaefer with 5 yards on the reception up to the 40. Roeder swings it out. It's incomplete. He was trying to hit Evan Benford out of the backfield. And that'll stop the clock with 42 seconds to go before halftime.
Boy, the way I could see another timeout after this next play. The way Crestview's offense rolling, they can put another score on the board.
3rd down and 5.
If there's no first down here, look for a timeout.
2 receivers on the left side. Roeder steps up, fires, and it's incomplete. That was almost picked off. And that'll stop the clock with 37 seconds to go before halftime.
Flag on the play. Declining it.
Neighborhood of a hold, and that is the case. Put a little bit of sauce on the throw. He overthrew it.
He does have an arm, Brian. He's got the arm. He has the ability to get the ball up the field.
So another punt for Monroeville with 37 seconds to go. Schaefer from about the 27. From the 35 up to about the 39-yard line, the return by Raymer.
Nice return.
So 30 seconds to go.
2 timeouts.
Do you take a knee and go into the half up 27, or do you try to make something happen here?
You know, the first half is game. Game on. You try to put as many points on. I've seen a lot of times when a team will have a lead at halftime, and it evaporates really quick. If you have the opportunity to score in the first half, you put it on them.
3 receivers set. Kuhn out of the shotgun. And they're going to look to throw on first down. It's caught. Still on his feet and finally down to about the 37-yard line. Gabe Smedley making the reception. That'll stop the clock with 20 seconds to go. Kuhn again. Now he feels the pressure. And he'll take off, dive inside the 35, down to the 34. And a timeout will stop the clock with 8 seconds to go. You got one final throw here to the end zone. And this is a makeable throw. 2nd down and 5. Just over the 34-yard line. And Kuhn has already thrown 2 touchdown passes tonight.
And he's done a great job. He's got a great arm on him.
Connor Morse has run for 2 touchdowns. Okay, you're the offensive coordinator. What are you dialing up now?
You go to the end zone. You got 11 seconds. You got a timeout. You can get 2 plays off. Look for a little razzle-dazzle, hook and ladder. Crestview, they smell blood in the water.
Kuhn under pressure. Slips out. It's going to be caught by Raymer inside the 20, out of bounds at the 19 with 3 seconds to go. And a big catch hauled in by Addison Raymer. Monroeville got pressure on him in the beginning of the play, but Kuhn does a nice job of getting away from it and delivering a strike to Raymer.
Field goal try. Work on your kicking game.
36-yard attempt by Devin Holloway. And this one's going to be short. So that'll do it. The first half in the books. It's all Crestview. 27-0 as we head to the intermission. You're watching high school football live and free exclusively on the OH Report.
Kissel's Lawncare. There's no job too big or too small for us to handle. With top-of-the-line equipment, we are guaranteed to complete your next landscaping job efficiently and professionally. A hard-working, dedicated team is what we take pride in, bringing to every job to make sure the results are the best they can be. So the next time you have a landscaping project that needs done, think smart and think Kissel.
Instead of paying for some big-name spokesperson, Kasasa Checking gives that money back to you in cash rewards. In fact, you just bought me this cup of coffee. See how that works? Amazing! Free checking, cash rewards. Take back banking with Kasasa.
Hi, I'm Josh with Scout Construction, proud sponsor of local teams and athletes. Check out your favorite local sports right here on the OH Report.
Featuring our Monroeville twirlers, here's Counting Stars. 2019. Here's Blinding Lights. Ladies and gentlemen, Monroeville Eagle marching band, twirlers, and color guard.
Gentlemen, under the direction of Hannah Wolf, Devin Renninger, Noah Shireman, and color guard directed by Haley Burkholder, we proudly present to you the 2021 Marching Cougar Pride. Tonight, we present to you for your halftime entertainment our Motown show, featuring hits from Martha and the Vandellas, Smokey Robinson, and the Supremes. Opens their show with a song first popularized by Martha and the Vandellas in 1964. The song reached #2 on the U.S. Billboard Hot 100 chart, and Martha Reeves herself is quoted to say, "It's a song that just makes you want to get up and dance." The band would like to invite you to enjoy their performance of Dancing in the Street. second number, the band brings to you the 1967 hit recorded by Smokey Robinson and the Miracles, first appearing on the album Make It Happen. This song was later released in the UK as a single in 1970. This record is also known for being one of the only hip-hop singles to feature bassoon. Here is the MCP's performance of The Tears of a Clown. The MCP presents a song first recorded in 1966 by the Supremes, recorded in 8 sessions before settling on a version for release. This song was ranked number 339 on Rolling Stone's The Greatest 500 Songs of All Time. Give it up for the Marching Cougar Pride as they play You Keep Me Hanging On.
Kissel's Lawncare. There's no job too big or too small for us to handle. With top-of-the-line equipment, we are guaranteed to complete your next landscaping job efficiently and professionally. A hard-working, dedicated team is what we take pride in, bringing to every job to make sure the results are the best they can be. So the next time you have a landscaping project that needs done, think smart and think Kissel.
Instead of paying for some big-name spokesperson, Kasasa Checking gives that money back to you in cash rewards. In fact, you just bought me this cup of coffee. See how that works? Amazing! Free checking, cash rewards. Take back banking with Kasasa.
Hi, I'm Josh with Scout Construction, proud sponsor of local teams and athletes. Check out your favorite local sports right here on the OH Report.
Welcome back to the Sutton Bank Halftime Show. I am Brian Harder along with Bruce Wyrick, and so far in the first half it has been all Crestview, 27-0. And I have to be honest, Coach, when we came into this ball game and I looked at what Monroeville has done in their first 4 games, and especially in their last 2, I was expecting more offense out of Monroeville, but I think it really speaks to the level of defense that Crestview is playing right now. They're playing at a very high level.
Yeah, this is homecoming night. You're on the turf. The lights are great. It's a great night. They're just playing almost mistake-free football. Now, Monroeville, they've averaged 41.5 points in the last 2 games. For them to come in and not be able to get across the 50-yard line, that baffles me, Brian, big time.
Well, coming into tonight's game, Crestview's defense had only allowed 66 points, 343 yards rushing, 323 yards passing. That's for 4 games. They forced 5 turnovers, couple interceptions, 3 fumble recoveries, and we have said this throughout the entire first half. They just rushed to the ball so well, and they've taken the edge away. Roeder has not been able to do anything running the football.
At halftime, I was standing out with the fans, and Mr. Jimmy Grubbs comes up. He's the superintendent of Crestview Schools, a great person, and I've known him for years. And he is telling me that one of the greatest thing about this defense is their overall speed. They're not exactly big. They don't have the big linemen up front, but they got speed. And, Brian, I'll guarantee you this from my coaching days, if you have speed on defense, it saves so much energy from your defense because they can flyer the football and make things happen.
Now, as we take a look at the halftime numbers, we're not going to see any surprises here. This is going to be completely lopsided in favor of Crestview.
Yeah, when you look at the first downs, Crestview, they dominated the first half. And as Brian said earlier when he talked to their head coach, they want to control the flow of the game, and that's what they're doing. They have 12 first downs. Monroeville won. Total yards, 242, -3 for Monroeville. Now, most of that minus yardage came on a bad punt snap. And at the beginning of the game, we talked about the little things in the game. And a bad punt snap put Crestview inside the 5-yard line. I think it was at the 1-yard line. And it's the little things like that. Rushing yards, 118 to -12. Penalties, if there is a bad spot we can talk about. The offensive line for Crestview jumped 4 times. That's 20 yards. And each team has a turnover.
Connor Morris, these aren't eye-popping numbers, but both of their leading offensive players are very efficient. 16 carries, 72 yards, a couple of touchdowns. Hayden Kuhn, 6 of 9 through the air, 98 yards and 2 touchdowns. The offense has been, I will say, efficient, and they've been a little bit unpredictable.
And that's what I like. And I think the coach is coming in saying, okay, we're able to run the ball at will. We can do anything we want running outside. We're a little bit more aggressive than they are. And let's work on our passing game a little bit. And I actually think they've thrown the ball more than I thought they would tonight, Brian.
Now, you take a look at a team that loves to run the football, the Lucas Cubs, and this is a good one down at Lucas. 2:36 to go in the second quarter. The Cubs up 14-13, and that is a game that Brian Skoronsky and Effie James are down there calling. That is a great matchup.
You have a Division II school taking on a Division V? Unheard of.
So Monroeville is going to kick off to start the third quarter, down 27-0. Let's see what defensive adjustments Tyler Nestor and his coaching staff made at halftime. From the 15. Perkins up across the 30 to about the 33, so Crestview will start with pretty good field position.
And in Ohio football rules, if you go up by 30, there's a running clock. So I'd like to see Monroeville come out, see if they can't stop Crestview from hitting that magical number 30 and play some football tonight.
1st and 10. Ball resting at the Crestview 33-yard line. Crestview 4-0, looking for a 5-0 start. And we have a whistle, and I believe, and we talked about the penalties in the first half for Crestview. One of the few mistakes and another false start against the Cougars.
And that's their 5th penalty, 5 yards, total of 25 yards given up. And if there's a black eye to be talked about, that's it right there, Brian. Because when you get against a tougher team and the score's a little bit tighter, those 5 yards become big yards.
1st and 15 as they march the ball back to the 28-yard line. Kuhn out of the shotgun. And he'll look to throw. It's caught, the 41-yard line. Roeder makes the tackle, and the reception hauled in by Owen Barker. So they got a good bit of the yardage back and make it a manageable 2nd down and 2. And if you're Monroeville, you're like, okay, we back them up, and then we let them off the hook. A nice throw and a nice catch by Barker.
And as a defensive coordinator, you just scratch your head. You have the perfect defensive call, but it wasn't executed.
2nd and 2. Kuhn looks over the middle, has a wide open receiver. Smedley into the end zone, his 2nd touchdown of the night. 59 yards. And Crestview scores on their opening drive in the third quarter.
Wow.
So Smedley caught the first touchdown of the ball game, and he catches the last one here. Extra point is up, and it is good. It is now 34-0. 11 minutes to go in the third quarter. And we're going to have a running clock.
And, boy, the fireworks went off on that play. And there's your overall team speed for you, Brian. You know, they're getting receivers open. They're getting them out of there. When you have a faster team, it is very tough to stop them anymore, especially with how good these offenses are.
Well, and I talked to Coach Haverdale about this. They're going to become so unpredictable. Teams are geared to stop Connor Morse.
Yep.
And that is going to open up things in the passing game, and you're seeing it there. They were expecting on 2nd and short a running play.
And Little play action. Everybody steps up. Little crossing route. Person pops wide open. And what a ball thrown. Perfectly laid right in. Great catch. This Crestview team is a well-oiled machine, and we knew they were good last year, but this year they might even be better.
When you talk about Ross Kuhn and you talk about Chase Shiflett, and you think this team could be better, and they are showing it on the field. Short kick angled to the near side, and it's going to be recovered by Monroeville at the 39-yard line.
One of the things that we did last year when we talked about Crestview, we could go the whole game and only mention 2 players. Tonight, everybody's getting in the action. I mean, they're throwing the ball, they're running the ball, different receivers. 1, 2, 3, 4. They got 5 different receivers catching the ball. They're spreading it out all over the field. They're going to become a team to defend in the future here.
Schuler on the ground, nowhere to go, gets up across the 40, maybe a yard. Last year, Crestview was 8-3. They shared the Firelands Conference title with these Monroeville Eagles and Norwalk St. Paul, and their postseason ended with a 42-14 loss to Cary.
One of the things that's impressing me with this Crestview is that it's not a one-man tackle. They get people to the football. They'll have 5, 6 people on the tackle every play.
Roeder sets, and it's tipped and incomplete. Ian Schaefer unable to haul in the tipped pass. And you have to wonder, after what happened last year and the playoff loss to Cary, and you've got guys like Connor Morse and Hayden Kuhn waiting their turn, you have to wonder how much motivation that gave them in the offseason. And Coach Haverdale talked about the focus that this team has. And he says this is a very hard-working group, and they're just very committed, and they're very determined. And you're seeing that bear out on the field. Roeder. Going to be tripped up at about the 44-yard line. Morse comes up to make the stop. Nice open field tackle by Connor Morse.
You don't build your football team during two-a-days. You build it in the wintertime when your team's in the weight room. And then in the spring, you try and get your kids out for track and baseball. You want them participating. And in a school the size of Crestview, you want your star athletes doing everything.
So it's 4th down and another punting situation for the Eagles. Goes out of bounds. Crestview will get the ball back. And rain is starting to fall here. Can't say I saw that coming.
It's going to be a wet motorcycle ride home.
So just when you think
it's going to
you're really having a rough night if you're an Eagle fan, you look up and you see the rain starting to fall. 1st and 10 Crestview, 8:30 to go in the 3rd quarter. It has been a dominating performance by the Cougars. Cage Bloodhart with his first carry. It's up to about the 30, about 35. Actually, they're going to spot the ball 37, a pickup of 4. So now an opportunity to get some other personnel, some valuable playing time.
You never know when injuries are going to erupt. And you want to have those backup players ready to play, step up. This is the time to do it.
Bloodhart coming into tonight, 16 carries, 96 yards, and a touchdown. He's averaged 6 yards a carry. That's Bolin. And Bolin powers his way to the 45. Another 1st down for Crestview. Isaac Roeder in on the stop.
They're mixing it up, Brian. They're giving the ball to different people. They're not dependent upon one back.
So a fresh set of downs, 1st and 10 at the 45-yard line. Bloodhart again. Now he's up across midfield, upended at the 49. And I would go out on a limb and say that the throwing night is over for Hayden Kuhn.
I think the only time you're going to see him throw the ball is when they're in a definite passing situation, 3rd and long. I might be wrong, but right now this team is just moving the ball down the field in chunks of 5-6 yards at a time.
2nd down and a long 4, just over the midfield stripe. Bloodhart again. This time he stood up at the line of scrimmage. Christian Klinker in on the tackle, forces a 3rd down.
One of the few 3rd down situations Crestview's been in tonight. And Crestview's in no hurry right now. They are controlling the flow of the game, working the clock down, taking their time.
Third down and 5. And Bloodhart unable to get anywhere beyond the 49-yard line.
4th down situation.
Isaac Klingman up to make the stop. And they'll send the punt team out. So the defense for Monroeville holds. And Monroeville over the last few years has been a very good team in the Firelands Conference. They were 5-2 a year ago, 5-1 in the conference. Their season ended with a 28-20 playoff loss to Independence, and then in the offseason, Scott Stecker resigned. He was the head coach for 7 years, got 37 wins, 33 losses. And their current head coach, Nestor, was the defensive coordinator. Going to take him in Monroeville roll.
And the one thing
to
you
about
talked
16-yard line.
And the one thing you talked about before the game, Brian, was that you counted 14 freshmen in this lineup for Monroeville. And when you have that many freshmen and you only have a team of 30 and half of them are freshmen, you're going to go through some growing pains right now. But these freshmen are getting the experience they need to put Monroeville back where they belong in the Firelands Conference.
Well, I have a feeling Tyler Nestor will have this team back. They started the season with a 42-20 loss to Lakota. Followed that with a 31-28 loss to Tiffin Calvert. Then the Eagles ran off 2 wins in a row, including last week's win over Plymouth. Their other win over Margaretta, 41-28. So they have shown glimpses, but they have just come up across a Crestview team tonight that is just clicking on all cylinders and playing very, very good football.
I think they're getting outmaneuvered in some positions. Crestview just has a little bit more overall team speed. They have a little bit more experienced players playing. And they are quick. They get to the football.
Landon Roeder getting the call. 2nd down and 9. And Isaac Roeder's going to run it. And he's going to get a 1st down and then some. Still on his feet across the 35 up to about the 38-yard line. And I get the sense from watching Isaac Roeder play, you're going to have to pry him out of this ball game.
He just keeps working. He's a workhorse. They're putting the load on him. He's accepted it. Biggest run of the night was 16 yards, and he just ran it off.
The rain has subsided for the most part here in Ashland. Roeder down the right sideline. It's tipped away. The receiver had to turn into a defensive back. Josh Burrows went up and had to tap it away.
Ball kind of floated up in the air a little bit.
We do have the rolling clock since Crestview with a 34-point lead.
That was nice coverage by the Crestview defensive backs. Again, they're utilizing their speed and size to make things happen in the secondary.
2nd and 10. Schuler up to about 43. Third down and 10, 2:28 to go in the third quarter.
Crestview stringing together a couple first downs.
Roeder feels the pressure. Lofts it right side. It's incomplete. Had Ian Schaefer, but he overthrew him, and it's going to be fourth down.
And again, you see the athletic ability of the secondary of Crestview. They have some size back there, and I'll tell you what, Brian, they have speed. He was beat. Crestview was beat. They had the deep route, but with his athletic ability, is able to make up ground and knock the ball away.
So another punt. Raymer watches it bounce, and it's going to be down at about the 28-yard line. So Crestview is going to get the ball back with 1:18 to go in the third quarter.
And you kind of wonder, did the coach call the dogs off?
Well, Hayden Kuhn is still going to run the show at quarterback. Levi Stegeman is the backup quarterback. Not a surprise. Crestview stays on the ground, and again, that's Bloodhart. And they're going to be in no hurry to get another playoff.
And the one consistent thing Crestview has been going, even though they're moving people in and out, is their offensive line. Again, these backs are not getting hit until they get through the defensive line. The linebackers are making the plays on them, making the tackles. So that's 4 or 5 yards every play.
Probably the last play of the third quarter. Cleet Rogers gets the carry. And he'll get forward progress to the about 33-yard line. Rogers, a sophomore.
I think that's it for the quarter.
We will be back to Ashland with the fourth and final period right after this. You're watching high school football live and free exclusively on the OH Report.
Instead of paying for some big-name spokesperson, Casasa Checking gives that money back to you in cash rewards. In fact, you just bought me this cup of coffee. See how that works? Amazing! Free checking, cash rewards. Take back banking with Casasa.
Hi, I'm Josh with Scout Construction, proud sponsor of local teams and athletes. Check out your favorite local sports right here on the OH Report.
Crestview with a 34-0 lead as we start the fourth quarter. And Kuhn is going to get stopped after not even sure he got back to the line of scrimmage. Crestview is going to have a steady diet of running the football.
He
There
keeps
you
the
see
clock
tackle
rolling.
by Isaac Klingman. So that makes it 4th and 9. And Crestview is going to give the ball back to the Eagles. Next week, Crestview will host Ottawa Hills, then travel to South Central. Then the Cougars host Plymouth, and they will have their own field back when they host Plymouth. So that will truly be a home game as the ball is down at the 9-yard line. So they'll host Plymouth and then Norwalk St. Paul before ending the regular season at Mapleton.
61-yard punt keeps Monroeville in the hole. Monroeville has yet to cross the 50-yard line.
Centerburg's not having a good night either, as Highland up in the third quarter 17-0. And here at Community Stadium, it has been all Crestview from the beginning. As Cougars with a 34-0 lead, and Roeder still runs into the teeth of that Cougar defense and finds nowhere to go.
And I'll tell you what I like about that quarterback. He just doesn't give up, Brian.
No, he does
not.
not.
He does not give up. You're down 34 points, and he is working as hard now as he did at the beginning of the game. He took 2 good hits right there. Took 2 good hits. And that's what your leaders on your football team will do for you. When times are bad, they're going to just carry the load for you.
This team will be back. They stay on the ground. Schuler is stuffed at the 5. Ball pops out. They're going to say he was down. And this defense for Crestview just continues to dominate a really good offensive team.
And it's overall speed. Monroeville tries to go to the outside. Crestview sends 5 or 6 guys there. They try to run up the middle. They got 4 or 5 guys on the tackle. There's no individual tackles tonight. Everybody's gang tackling. Everybody's flowing to the ball. Great defensive effort by Crestview.
3rd down and 12. Roeder steps up, feels the pressure. He's dumped at the 1-yard line. He had absolutely nowhere to go. And watch the pocket just collapse on the Eagles quarterback.
And that defense just keeps coming. You avoid one tackle, and there's another one on you, and you miss it. He misses, and there's another one. They keep going to the football.
4th and 19, and the Eagles will kick it out of their own end zone. And another short field for Crestview with 8:46 to go. 34-0. Brian Harder, Bruce Wyrick from Community Stadium in Ashland, the temporary home of the Crestview Cougars.
And the way the game's going right now, and the respect I have for this Crestview staff, I think they're going to keep the ball on the ground, run the clock down.
Kuhn still in there, just a hand off. And a nice run inside the 15-yard line. And that was Connor Morse getting another carry.
And I think Coach just took him out, talks to him, says, great game.
You're done.
You're done. Put the helmet away.
The last thing they want is an injury when you're up 34-0. Bouncing to the near side. That's Bloodhart. And Bloodhart swarmed under at the 14-yard line. Isaac Roeder right in the middle of it along with Landon Roeder.
He's everywhere. He's everywhere, Brian. On offense, he's controlling the offense. On defense, where the ball is, that's where he's at.
He grabbed him initially, then got up and continued to fight in the play.
And again, look at Monroeville. 6 guys on the tackle. Moving to the ball. Still playing hard football.
That's Smedley. And he's upended at the 8-yard line. It'll be second down. So the jet sweep by Smedley. Second down and 4. Bloodhart stuffed at the line. So Crestview is going to get their 5th win of the season. And as we said, next week they play Ottawa Hills.
4th down, 4 yards. Crestview's taking their time. Going to let the clock run down. Maybe a timeout and a field goal. Work on your kicking game right now.
Hayden Kuhn walking right towards the referee, and it will be a timeout with 5:50 to go. This might be the earliest that we call our player of the game, but Hayden Kuhn has really done a nice job of leading this offense, and we will chat with him after tonight's ball game in the Sutton Bank post-game show. And Hayden Kuhn will be our Kissel's Lawncare Spraying and Painting player of the game.
And what a leadership tonight. Throwing the ball, running the ball.
Centerburg's on the board, 17-7. And that is something that Monroeville has not been able to do tonight. In fact, if memory serves me correctly, they haven't crossed midfield.
No, Monroeville has not crossed the midfield line.
And that really says a lot for this defensive effort for Crestview.
And when Monroeville put, I would think one side, they're just having a bad night, but they put up 42 points the last couple games, and now they can't get over the 50-yard line. Field goal for Crestview. Work on your kicking game.
It's a 23-yarder for Devin Holloway. He missed from about 35 yards earlier, but he connects on this one.
Some coaches will look at that and say, wow, he's kicking the ball on us right now. Well, you practice what you need. You may need a field goal later on in the season to win the game. You put the pressure on the young man now. Give him a rep on the field. It'll pay big dividends later.
It's the second field goal on the season for Devin Holloway. His long at 35-yarder. He's missed one extra point tonight. So you get a little confidence, too, in your kicker as you head down the stretch in the Firelands Conference, and it'll be interesting to see what team can rise up and give Crestview a challenge in the Firelands.
It's going to – we're down to 5 weeks, and we're into the mid of the seasons now. The conference games are building up.
We are at the midway point already this season. It has flown.
And the thing I like about Crestview, they're healthy. They got everybody running. You don't see anybody on the sidelines in crutches or anything like that. All the players are in uniform. They're clicking on all cylinders right now.
Isaac Roeder and Josh Burrows back to receive. They have stayed away from them all night long. Let's see if Holloway kicks it deep. Roeder scoops it up at the 3. And a 7-yard return as he's knocked out of bounds at the 10. So that's where Monroeville will take over. Down 37-0. His quarterback plays defense. I mean, this kid does not come out of the ball game.
And there's a bright spot. He's a good athlete. He is a good athlete. He's going to lead this team for the rest of the season, and he's a workhorse. He's not afraid to get dirty.
Schuler stays in as the running back. And he gets the carry. Round the left side, up across the 20. Close to a first down. Schuler was a nice compliment to Roeder last week. Had 103 yards and 3 touchdowns.
That is their third first down tonight.
We've seen a lot of good defensive performances over the years. I don't know if I've seen one quite this dominant.
No. Monroeville hasn't even crossed the 50-yard line tonight. This might be the drive, but again, there's 5 or 6 guys on the tackle at the line of scrimmage.
Owen Barker in the middle of things. Schuler with nowhere to go. It'll be a loss of 1, 2nd and 11.
You know,
We're under 4 minutes to go.
They come back and they always talk about your offenses and building championship teams, but a championship team will not win if you don't have a strong defense, and Crestview's defense is very impressive.
Little misdirection, and Schuler runs right into the arms of a waiting defender.
You build championship teams on a strong defense, and you know, you can talk all you want about this offense, putting points on, running the ball, and they threw the ball tonight. I was really impressed with their throwing game. Probably more with the passing game than the running game. But this defense has been steady. They've done the job tonight. They fly to the football, and they are flat out quick.
Owen Barker making that stop defensively. 3rd down and 13. Roeder lofts it up right side. It's going to be tipped and almost intercepted.
Boy, did that one go back and forth. One of the drills you do in practice is called the tip drill. You tip the ball up and you recover it, and he tipped it up, and there were 3 or 4 guys had an opportunity to get it. But what a throw by the quarterback. Pressure on him, steps out of the pocket, gives himself some time, lofts it downfield.
Gabe Smedley initially tipped it. So Monroeville will kick it. It's a high, short kick. And ball's on the ground, but it's recovered by Crestview, so they'll get it back inside the 40. Stay with us. We'll have the Sutton Bank postgame show. Take a look at the final numbers of tonight's game. We'll have the Kissel's Lawncare Spraying and Painting Player of the Game. See that young man right there, number 5.
Yeah, what a ball game. What a ball game. What a leader. Not only is he following in his brother's footsteps, he's stepping out in front of him.
1st and 10 from the Monroeville 39. Cleet Rogers, the sophomore, gets the call and gets about 6 yards. Isaac Rader came up to make the tackle.
They're letting the clock run down. The quarterback's staring at the play clock. Probably won't snap it till it gets down to about 3 seconds. Busted play. Nobody there.
Who's going to run it?
So I'll take it myself.
Ball's on the ground. And are they going to say he was down, or are they going to give? No, they're going to give it to Monroeville. Kuhn coughs it up, and it's recovered by Evan Benford. So the last offensive drive probably for Crestview is going to end with a turnover.
That's their second one tonight. Looking at the replay, looks like a ball might have popped out.
Nice hard hit by Braden Schuler.
Very few mistakes for this Crestview team. Offsides they got to work on. Very few mistakes. That was another one right there.
So perhaps 2 more plays for Monroeville with 46 seconds to go. Schuler slides to the 30. And that baby, no, they're going to run one more play. Roeder swings it out. It's caught.
Incomplete.
Oh.
Hit the turf.
It did bounce up into the arms of Schaefer. And they're going to play to the whistle. And the last play of the ball game, fittingly, is a sack. So Crestview with an impressive 37-0 win over Monroeville. And we will be back with the Sutton Bank postgame show right after this. You're watching high school football live and free exclusively on the OH Report.
Kissel's Lawncare. There's no job too big or too small for us to handle. With top-of-the-line equipment, we are guaranteed to complete your next landscaping job efficiently and professionally. A hard-working, dedicated team is what we take pride in, bringing to every job to make sure the results are the best they can be. So the next time you have a landscaping project that needs done, think smart and think Kissel.
Instead of paying for some big-name spokesperson, Casasa Checking gives that money back to you in cash rewards. In fact, you just bought me this cup of coffee. See how that works? Amazing! Free checking, cash rewards. Take back banking with Casasa.
Hi, I'm Josh with Scout Construction, proud sponsor of local teams and athletes. Check out your favorite local sports right here on the OH Report.
Sutton Bank post-game show. I am Brian Harder, along with tonight's Kissel's Lawncare Spraying and Painting Player of the Game. Quarterback Hayden Kuhn, 10 of 13 for 190 yards and 3 touchdowns. He did throw the 1 interception. Talk about the game plan coming in. A lot of when you look at your offense all season long, it's really been predicated on the run, but it looked like you guys tried to mix things up tonight.
Yeah, we came into the game, wanted to pound the rock like we always do, but the pass game just opened up tonight, and it was a good mix of plays tonight. We were able to throw the ball efficiently tonight, so we had a good pass game tonight. Now,
was this something that you saw early? The coaches saw this, or was this the game plan coming in?
I think we were going to come out and pass it a little bit more than we have in the past, and the coaches saw that we were completing our balls, our receivers were getting open, so they just had faith in us and just go out there and throw the ball more, so it just worked out tonight.
I hear all these people talking about comparing this team to last year's team and how good this team is, and the thing that really surprises me is you guys are very unpredictable. Defenses are going to key on Morse, and that really opens things up for you, doesn't it?
Yeah, it really helps that we have a really good run game, so it helps on our play action attack, and it just really opens up our wide receivers to get open in the passing game because they have to key on our running back because he's so good. So they have to key on him, and we can just open it up and air it out.
Talk about the last touchdown pass that you threw.
I wanted to get a little bit of redemption. I overthrew the same pass concept earlier in the game, so I wanted to get a little bit of redemption. And thankfully I put it on the money that time, and we got a touchdown. So.
Were you surprised at the defensive effort that you guys put forward? I mean, Monroeville, over the last couple of weeks, they've played pretty well offensively, and people might look at that and go, well, maybe Monroeville's not that good, but your defense just really swarms to the ball.
Yeah, our defense is really good. You know, it helps our offense out a lot because they can get 3-and-outs, turnovers, you know. They played really good tonight, so that really helps our offense out when they can get 3-and-outs and turnovers the whole game, basically.
So now you guys are 2-0 in the Firelands, and do you think that this kind of gives you a leg up now? Because next week you're not playing a conference game.
Yeah, we're not playing a conference game. You know, it's going to be a little bit different playing out of conference game halfway through the season. So we're just going to have to keep focused, come out next week, play hard like we have been the whole year, and just do what we do.
Well, congratulations, Hayden, on the win, and good luck next week against Ottawa Hills.
Thank you.
We're going to take a timeout. We'll come back with more of our post-game show after this. You're watching high school football live and free exclusively on the OH Report.
Instead of paying for some big-name spokesperson, Casasa Checking gives that money back to you in cash rewards. In fact, you just bought me this cup of coffee. See how that works? Amazing! Free checking, cash rewards. Take back banking with Casasa.
Hi, I'm Josh with Scout Construction, proud sponsor of local teams and athletes. Check out your favorite local sports right here on the OH Report.
Welcome back to the Sutton Bank post-game show. I'm Brian Harder along with Bruce Wyrick, and you heard that interview with Hayden Kuhn, and a very confident young man. But I'll tell you what, if that passing game can be tonight and through the rest of the season the way it was in the first 3 quarters, the Firelands Conference is in trouble.
They are. And, you know, you and I talked before the game. It's going to be a run game. We're going to run it down each other's throat. Who can control the line of scrimmage? And what's Crestview do? They come out and throw the ball all over the place. But you're right. You add that passing game to their running game, they're unbeatable.
Well, teams can't key on Connor Morse anymore because now you've got a guy like Kuhn. And it's not like it was a secret, but they came out tonight, and it just seemed like they were more willing or able to establish the passing game more than they had in the last few weeks.
And they did. And, as he told you, we worked on it. We wanted to throw the ball. And when you come out the second half and on your first drive, you throw the ball the length of the field for a touchdown, boy, does that brighten up your arms and makes everybody happy about it. But, you can talk all you want about the offense, but that Monroeville football team never crossed the 50-yard line tonight, Brian. That defense is all over the place.
That is the kind of defense that championships are won with.
Yeah, and everybody will tell you that. You can't win a championship without a strong defense. And, they're not big, but as we saw tonight, when they go to the football, they send people to the football. They got 4 or 5 people on every tackle. There's not a lot of solo tackles. It's a team effort.
And as we take a look at the final numbers, just like it was at the half, this is going to be completely lopsided and in favor of Crestview. 363 yards of total offense, 22 yards for Monroeville. And as we said, I don't think it's that Monroeville can't play offense. They have shown the last couple of weeks that they can move the football. Roeder is a very good offensive player. The defense tonight for Crestview was just stifling.
And they're all over the field, as we stated. I mean, they gang tackle. They fly to the football. You have a pursuit drill, and that's what we had tonight. These guys were flying to the football. And, at the beginning of the game, we talked about this being a homecoming game. And is Crestview going to be focused, or their mind's going to be on the dance tomorrow night and the girls and the cheerleaders and everything? But they were focused tonight, and that's a sign of a winning football team.
Well, Morris only had 17 carries for 94 yards and 2 touchdowns, so that's an off night for him.
It was, but they utilized so many more backs the second half. And when you have a running clock, and with the offense that Crestview has, I mean, they're going to just move the ball down the field at will, and they let everybody carry the ball tonight. They must have had 10 ball carriers tonight.
With the win, Crestview is now 5-0. They're 2-0 in the Firelands Conference, and Monroeville drops to 2-3. They are 1-1 in conference play. The final score tonight, Crestview 37 and Monroeville nothing. Our thanks to tonight's broadcast team. Our producer was Adam Thompson, and the fine camera work courtesy of Nick Jacobs. But most of all, our thanks to you for joining us. Once again, the final score, Crestview 37 and Monroeville nothing. You've been watching high school football live and free on the OH Report, powered by BS Media Productions. Thanks again to our generous sponsors for making all this possible. Keep it locked into the OH Report, your new home for live sports coverage in North Central Ohio and beyond. For Bruce Wyrick, I'm Brian Harder. So long from Ashland.